Hello everybody and welcome back to more Rising Phoenix Racing League. This is the inaugural round of Season 4 of RP, and it is being held at Singapore. So let's see what happens. Might be some accidents. Hopefully stuff is close. Hello Parallax. Um yeah. So yeah, let's get going and let's hope for a good race today. So as usual, it's going to be a short quali and a 50% race. Obviously car performance is equal, safety cars on, collisions are on, vehicle damage is on full, dynamic weather, strict corner cutting, car setups are allowed, ghosting and rules are on, manual race starts, and parc fermé rules and regulations are activated. I believe the only assists are ABS and medium traction control for this. Oh, by the way, this is the F1 division of Rising Phoenix. There's two divisions, F1 and F2. So I'll be commentating F1, and then F2 will be done by, I believe, someone else will definitely be doing F2. So, yeah, be sure to watch both leagues, as they will be on YouTube. So just be sure to watch those afterwards. If you watch F2, be sure to watch this one. If you've watched this one, be sure to watch F2 after. So yeah, all right. So it is dry for qualifying, so that's probably pretty good for the drivers. They're probably pretty thankful for that. So let's just see who comes out first. Hello, Machine Fishy. Alright, so we have a flurry of cars coming out. Let's, who's the first one out? The McLaren of Jay. So let's ride with him. So yeah, this track is pretty infamous for having accidents, and with damage on full, it's going to be pretty easy to damage the car. So hopefully everyone can not have any accidents. Alright, so our lineup for today is Luke, Jay, Shady, Gamez, Black Phoenix, V-Rida, Trench, Bunsback, Racing Maestro, Big Slater, Jack King, 32, Jizzy, Legend, Machine Fishy, Konal, Shadow GT, Bazooka Joe, Flex Marcel, and Jay Prentice. So 19 drivers. And, oh, we've already had a little bit of an accident, I think, in Sector 2, as Jay is beginning his hot lap here, his first attempt. So here we go. Down the main straight, DRS open, sticking as far to the right as possible. Clipping the curb there, and then for turn 3, blasting out of turn 3 into turn 4, and then down under the Anderson Bridge, I believe it is. Or that might be later on in the track, I don't know. I'm not too sure, but yeah, through turn 6 and 7 into the heart of the second sector. So very tricky part coming up here. Left, and then a very tight right, and you're trying to carry as much speed as possible here while not spinning. It can be quite tricky sometimes to do that. So through the hairpin and into another hairpin. Clipping the curb a little bit, going over it a bit. Still valid though, so thankfully still a good lap. And into the final two corners, have to be very brave here. Just a very light squeeze of the brake or lift of the throttle, and that is the lap complete. A 137.3 for JJ, a 135.4 for Legend, and a 137.6 for Luke on the mediums. As a V-Rider goes P5, Machine Fishy goes P6, and Big Slider goes P3, Buns back P6, dropping Fishy down to P7. Here we go, on board with Racing Maestro on the hards. Through the final corner, it's going to be P9 with a 40.2 on the hards. Flex Marcel goes P2, Shadow GT goes P7, as Black Phoenix is beginning his lap. There by accident. Flying into turn 4 there. Very brave by the McLaren driver. A purple first sector as well, so do very good so far. Coming up to some traffic in the form of a Racing Point. Not sure who it is. I think it's Flex. So he pulls off to the side. As Trench goes P7, Jack goes P4 as well. And Racing Maestro P12, Machine Fishy 11, Buns back P10. As Jay Prentice goes P11. And the next one to cross the line will be Black Phoenix here. Looking like a pretty good lap so far, so he should be up the order, for the hards at least, compared to the other hard runners. And it is P6. So yeah, the highest hard runner. So very well done by him, with a 137.391. Alright, so let's see. Machine Fishy is on another flying lap, it appears. 6/10 up in the first sector so far. Ooh, little tap of the wall there. Might have been a little bit of damage. And coming up to Konal now, who is just starting his lap, as Machine Fishy goes a little bit wide at the exit, but still does improve to go P10, up from, I believe, P13, where he was before. So now let's go on board with Konal, currently in P18 with no lap time set, but this is going to be a pretty good one considering he's a very good driver and he is on the softs, so it's looking to be pretty promising. Purple first sector. Machine Fishy going 3 laps on the hards, so that's gonna significantly reduce the life of the tire in the race, if that's what he is starting on. Purple second sector for Konal, as Bazooka Joe is about to begin his lap right about now. Or in just a few seconds, actually. That's Legend and P1 at the moment, starting his lap. I'm on the softs as well. Yep. And then we have Bazooka Joe on the mediums, starting his lap. And Konal goes P3. So a 36.8 for the Toro Rosso driver. Alright, now onto Bazooka Joe and Jizzy. Bazooka Joe is ahead at the moment, so we'll, in terms of position on track, so we'll go with him. Oh, Gamez, it's not official race time. The race, I believe, should be official race time, but qualifying, I think, was set to be set in the daytime, just for, like, lighting differences, I suppose. I think that was the actual reasoning behind it. It was to make it easier for the drivers to see. And I believe it's under effect for both F1 and F2. So yeah, that's probably why, I think. Alright, so Bazooka Joe coming on the final corner. It's going to be P11 with a 38.0 as Shady, Gamez, and Jizzy are all on laps. Jizzy on the softs, Gamez and Shady both on the mediums. So Jizzy goes P3 with a 36.2. Now we're just awaiting the other two to finish their laps, and we'll have a full board of times set. So here comes Gamez. It's going to be a 36.5, so that's P4. And now Shady navigating through the third sector. Through the final two corners, and it is a 37.7 on the mediums. So that is P12. Alright, so now on board with Trench. Up on his time by around 0.6 in the second sector, or after the first two sectors, he was up by 0.6. Going really high with the revs, but it's going to be a really good time here on the mediums. It's going to be a 37.1. So that's from P13 to P8. So 37.1 on the mediums by Trench. I think Shady's on an in-lap, I believe. Let's see what Button's doing. Or actually, let's see what Jizzy's doing. I haven't really covered a Haas car. yet. I think. Oh, he's out of fuel. I think he's coming back to the pits. Let's go with the other Haas. Oh, I think he might be on an outlap. Let's see. Oh, but he clips. He hits a little bit of his wing into the wall right before he starts, and he has to not pursue that lap anymore. So he's gonna have one more chance, I believe. Oh, as Luke cuts the corner a lot, cuts the course a lot there, on an in lap probably. Trench is invalidated at the moment. Black Phoenix is currently down on his time by a lot, and I think he's on an in lap or an out lap. I'm not sure. Alright, so let's go with Racing Maestro here. Half a second up. Ulas Gamas has retired from the session. And Black Phoenix has as well. When Racing Maestro a little bit too much and hits right into the wall there, and that's ruined his lap and given him some damage too. Machine Fishy has ended his session. And Racing Maestro's session, I believe, is over as well. So it's unfortunately going to be 19th place for him. So Legend and Luke, the top two, coming out right next to each other, right behind the Williams of Trench. Oh yeah, sorry Hyper. Yeah, I forgot to specify. For all the races in the future, I'll be sure to do that. To put it to be like Racing Point, F1 season 4 round whatever, and then you can put like Racing Point or not Racing Point, like Rising Phoenix F1, then the season and round, and then Rising Phoenix F2 or something like that. So yeah, sorry about that. Everyone's going quite slow on the cell lap here. These three, Trench, Legend, Luke is actually far ahead. So yeah, he's ready to go. He's ready to go right now. All right, so yeah, let's go cinematic with him to see what he can do on his final attempt. Oh yeah, right now I'm just logged in via PSN. I'm not logged in. Wait, hold on. Okay, well after this, I'll see if I can change it quickly. Just after the final laps are done. Okay. Alright, Machine Fishy. Yeah, I'll probably just try to do it for next time then. And then after this goes up, like as like a posted video on YouTube, um, me or Hyper or whoever can change it. I'm sure will change it to be like F1 Season 4 Round 1. Just to clarify. Alright, so Luke Vettel coming through the final corner. It is a 35.2, an improvement of 3.5 tenths. But it unfortunately isn't enough for pole. However, he is looking pretty secure in P2, as Legend improves by around 74 milliseconds, with a 134.7 to go pole position for the first round of Season 4 of Rising Phoenix. V-Rida goes is P14. Bazooka Joe is going to be P16, I believe, as he hasn't validated his lap. Racing Maestro is unfortunately in P19 and last. But yeah, now we're just waiting for some cars to come into the pits, and we should be good to go. All right. So, your qualifying order list is Legend on pole position, then Luke Vettel, Jizzy, Flex Marcel, Bunsback, Konal, Gamez Turish, Jay Prentice, Jack King, Trench, Shady, Big Slater, J Jig, Black Phoenix, V-Rida, Bazooka Joe, Machine Fishy, Shadow GT, and Racing Maestro. All three compounds of tires being used here in the session, so strategy is going to be very interesting to see. And based off of it being some going on softs, mediums, and hards, it's probably not going to be a wet race, at least not to start. Because if it was wet, they would just go on the softs, because that would just be the quickest anyway, because you would be starting on the wet tires regardless. And yes, it is dry, so that's pretty good. Got some water here. All right. And alright, so the formation lap is off, or away and off. Off and away. Alright, so let's get all of our stuff here enabled. Alright. Ooh, side by side there from or with Trench and Shady there on the formation lap. Just going through everyone here, seeing how everyone is doing. So far, no one has crashed or has like bumped into each other, which is good. Hopefully, that's going to be the case in the races, in the actual race as well. And all right, so here they come. Let's do this. Let's go. Alright, so the grid is formed, and Season 4 is about to get underway. Season 4 of Rising Phoenix begins after 5 red lights go out. Now! 5 lights out, and away we go, as Luke gets an amazing start, and it's up into P1, but Legend's gonna fight it. Cuts the corner a little bit. And they're still side by side, moving further back, seeing if there's any incidents, what's going on. Position changes. So Luke Vettel up a spot, Shadow GT up 4, battling with the McLaren and Red Bull. As everyone blasts down the second straight here. It's very close between everybody. Machine Fishy going for a move on V-Rider. Wow, just chaos back here. So many cars. Such a small space. Side by side with the Racing Point and the Williams. Oh, a little bit of carbon fiber there. Oh, and some more. I think that was a Renault carbon fiber and a Racing Point. Their end plates. So Luke Vettel leads from Legend, from Jizzy, from Marcel, from Konal. The worst start has been Jay, down 6 spots. The best start has been Shadow GT and Racing Maestro, up 4. A big train at the moment, as someone's coming into the pits. I believe it is Marcel. Luke sets the best first lap. As we got a V-Rider, Bazooka Joe, and Maestro battling. Oh, as back up at the front, we have Legend trying to take the lead off of Luke. Into turn 4, Luke has to go wide, but stays in it. Still side by side. Jizzy has a pretty good angle of this. And I think that's it for that battle for now. Now a V-Rider underfueling the car, probably planning to go into lean for most of the race. So yeah, both Flex Marcel and Shadow GT, I believe, making pit stops. Yep. Legend with the fastest lap. currently back in the lead. Legend has retaken the lead. As Ryder is looking at Maestro, and now with DRS, you might get past here. Side by side, through the kink of turn 5. And gets past. So everyone's so close still here on lap 3 in the tight third sector. Oh, a little bit of a wall tap from Trench there, but no damage, thankfully. Ooh, as that is Konal coming into the pits from P6, I believe, or P7, P6. Oh. And Machine Fishy as well, and Machine Fishy has retired from the session after getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So they are our first retirement of the race. Legend has really pulled up quite a big gap as well to Luke, 3.6 seconds at the moment. Just in about 2 laps or so. As V-Rider sets the fastest first sector. Oh, there's a big accident. There's a big accident between Black Phoenix and Jay Prentice. So now both of them have damage, and Jay Prentice is in a really bad spot. And yeah, he is now in 15th place here. And has just lost a whole heap of time. Very unfortunate incident there. That's who, Jizzy is also underfueling the car. As Luke is coming in, and so is Jizzy. Yeah, I believe the softs are starting to go off now at this point. So they'll probably be on the hards, I would assume. Try to go to the end on the hards. Or maybe like a double medium stop, we'll see. And it is hard tires for Luke. And it is medium tires for Jizzy. So Jizzy's going to have to do an extra stop, certainly. While Luke is not looking to. To the 2 Ferraris here in P6 and P7. Ooh, as Shadow GT has retired from the session after getting a penalty for speeding in the pits as well. Oh, as Parallax in the chat says, he might retire from league racing. How come? As side by side, V-Rider and Big Slater into turn 4. V-Rider, or well, both of them with the DRS. Very close here, through the kink of turn 5, into turn 6, a little bit of contact, but the Mercedes gets past, at least for now. Big Slater diving it back up the inside through turn 7. And Big Slater keeps the position. Yeah, the battle for P2 now is probably the closest one, so let's see. Ooh, a little bit of carbon fiber there. And I believe that's Black Phoenix or Jay that has just triggered the safety car. It is Jay. He's had an accident and he's lost his front wing. And yep, now a safety car is deployed. So this is going to be very interesting with strategy, seeing what people do. The current leader, Trench, is staying out. So is Slater and V-Rider and Bazooka Joe. Gamez is coming in. Legend staying out. Shay T's coming in. Buns back and Jack are coming in. Luke is staying out. Jizzy's coming in. And Jizzy has a penalty. So yeah, let's see how these pit stops go. All right. So yeah, not much to say under safety car. But let's see who can get to the end. So yeah, of the top 4, I'll have to stop. So I guess technically the leader is still Legend. And then yeah, Trench on mediums, Legend on new mediums, then a little bit worn hards for P2, 3, and 4. But yeah, no one currently running the softs, which is good to see. So yeah, Like from here on out, it would either be, if they're on the mediums, they'll have to stop one more time. Probably for another set of mediums, if they started on the hards or the softs, or the hards if they started on the mediums. Then if they're on the hards, they might be able to go to the end. Unless they haven't stopped, of course, which then of course they have to. Alright, so the safety car hopefully will be coming in probably next lap, actually. Oh, Big Slater is currently ghosted, so he's currently disconnected, I think. Yeah, I'm just wondering if Jay Prentice is gonna be able to catch up. Hopefully, he can. And yeah, he should. I think Jay Prentice will be catching up. As we should get going by the end of this lap. Alright, so Prentice is now right at the back. He's caught up, and safety car is coming in. Oh, and V-Rider has just overtaken Big Slater, or his AI car, at least. Alright, so here we go. And off goes Trench in P1. And V-Rider in P2. Everyone overtaking Big Slater's car. Ooh, a huge battle here. Bazooka Joe going quite slowly. Everyone steaming into turns 1, 2, and 3. V-Rider with the 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Battle for P11 here. Trench already with a 2-second advantage. Ooh, some contact between Legend and Gamez. Ooh! And they both hit into the wall, both lose some wing. Big accident there for those two. Now they're going to be under pressure here from everyone else. Bootmeister getting a little bit loose there off of the... Oh! And Jizzy are retiring from the session. Legend is into the pits. Gamez has stayed out though. It's a huge train back here, look at this. But also up here, so I'm just trying to figure out who to follow with. And here we go into turn 4, or turn 5. Turn 6 actually. But Legend has gone from pole position to currently last place in this race. And let's see if he can come back now. Ooh, Black Phoenix looking for a move on Jack. Oh, a little bit of a bump there as well. And further on. Oh, Racing Maestro defending hard from Konal. Now they're side by side into a very tight corner under the bridge. And Konal gets past Luke with the fastest lap so far. Right behind Trench as he's caught up massively. And now Jack and Shay T are battling. And now these guys battling for P1 here. Down the second straight. Luke with no ERS. Trench with a lot of ERS. But Luke with DRS. And Trench stays ahead. Oh, but for how long? As Luke goes down the inside, but Trench keeps it in front. Now we have a huge battle for P6 and a huge battle for P7, or for P10 rather. I would definitely consider it Parallax. It's pretty fun. And yeah, having the experience, you know, like having driven in the past is always a big plus, because you can sort of like understand what the drivers are really thinking. Oh, and side by side into the bridge chicane E section. Jack gets past Marcel. As Bonsbach has a penalty. As Jay is coming into the pits. Probably going on to the hards. As Legend on the hards sets the fastest lap, a 140.0. As Racing Maestro passes J Prentice. But J Prentice is coming back now around the outside. And a brilliant move by J Prentice. Very brave. Around the outside of quite a fast, tight corner. And he gets the move done into, or back up into P12. Now the battle for first here, a three-way battle, all within about a second. 12-lap-old mediums versus 8-lap-old mediums versus 12-lap-old hards. So let's see. Oh, and here goes Luke on Trench into turn 1. Trench stays ahead. Here we go on to the second straight. And nothing yet. As Wack Phoenix, Shady and Gamez all very close, with Jack right in the background, and Marcel as well, right back there, or just behind. Now Flex is going to be looking for a move on Jack, but to no avail. As Jay gets a penalty for multiple warnings. Ooh, it's Luke. Luke gets a little bit squirmy there. Gets a little bit of oversteer. As Marcel's into the pits, going on to the hards, I would assume. When Trench and Luke here side by side into turn 6. V-Rider with a very good view here of this battle. Trench goes deep. Luke gets the cutback, and so does Ryder. Ooh, but Trench is gonna fight it now, as Marcel has left the session. Side by side here, battle for P2, and V-Rider gets it. And now side by side battle for P4, and there's a VSC. There's a VSC because Big Slater has retired from the session, and this has impacted Maestro as well, who now has heavy damage on both of his both sides of his wing. So yeah, Big Slater unfortunately into the wall there. So now we have a VSC. Whereas Jay has a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. Oh, and V-Rider has damage after topping into the back of Luke. And Bazooka Joe has a drive-through as well. So this is it's become a really bad day for a couple drivers here because of this. So Luke is into the pits. V-Rider is going to continue on, and Trench is in the pits as well. Now Shady on Gamez, both 9-lap-old hard tires, but it doesn't go for the move yet. onto the second straight. And isn't close enough. Ooh, but goes deep. Oh, never mind. That was just slow. That was just some lag. Ooh, and we have a VSC as Jay has retired from the session. I think he's hit into the wall there. So we have another VSC as Flex Marcel, their AI, comes into the pits. For mediums, actually. Very interesting. But yeah, another set of mediums for Marcel, and another VSC. Alright, so we are racing once again. VSC is in. Now we're focusing on Legend chasing Trench. Right, and a lot of connection issues here. Huh. So Legend on Trench now, into turn 6, and Legend is passed. And now Gamez on Bazooka Joe, fighting side by side. Gamez on new mediums, so pretty easy to pass on someone on old hards. Because Gamez gets a penalty for multiple warnings. So currently V-Rida leads from Black Phoenix, from Shady, from Jack, from Button, from Conal and Jay Prentice. And Rida comes into the pits. So now Black Phoenix is released into the lead of the race, but he'll also have to pit pretty soon. Oh, and apparently, someone's wing wasn't changed when they came into the pits, even though they had damage. So that's, an oopsie on the part of the game, for sure. That's definitely not good. So battle for the final podium position here. Jack versus Button. We're a little bit deep for both of them there. Whose Button has a time penalty for multiple warnings. As into turn 1 he goes. As Legend sets the fastest lap. And now Gamez does. Now Button is very close to Jack. And so now Black Phoenix is coming into the pits as V-Rider sets the fastest second sector. So now Shay T is leading this race. As V-Rider sets the fastest lap of the race with a 39.3. As Black Phoenix gets past Trench. So Button very close to Jack here. Ooh, and he has to go wide. But Shay T leading by 4.1 seconds at the moment. Ooh, as Jack has cut the corner a little bit too much and has lost some of his front wing, and now he has to concede the position to Button. But Button has hit the following corner as well, so now Konal's in this fight. Both of them have damage, and both of them are going to pit. This would be a good time too, considering they have to pit anyway. Again, I believe. And Black Phoenix, that's the fastest lap of the race with a 38.8. So now Legend right behind Phoenix. Here. Now we have V-Rider and Gamez, as V-Rider gets past and sets the purple first sector. And now Phoenix looks to be in a really good position, P4 at the moment, on the mediums. Oh, little tap there. P4 on the mediums. Everybody in front of him has to pit, I believe. So he should be released into the lead of this race once that happens. And here he goes on Jay Prentice. And he's passed, as Jack gets a penalty. And now Legend is looking to pass Jay Prentice. Prentice on very old hards here. And Legend is passed as well. As Luke and Trench are battling with V-Rider and Gamez also there. Oh, and a yellow flag, but it's been cleared regarding Bazooka Joe and Maestro. As now Phoenix is looking to pressurize Konal here, and he might get the move done here. Konal on very old hards, of course. Oh, and Black Phoenix gets passed into P2. So he is just 5 seconds off of the lead at this point, and he is going to close in quickly. Oh, and side by side Konal and Legend. And Legend has passed Konal as well. Yeah, Konal needs to pit pretty soon. Same with Prentice. Or they're just gonna fall further and further back. Because these tires at this point are completely gone, it appears. Phoenix just 3 seconds off of JT at this point, closing in by 2 seconds on that last lap. Ooh, and we have a VSC as Maestro has retired from the session. I believe hitting into the barrier right where the bridge is at. Alright, so yeah, this VSC shouldn't really change much, as no one is near the pits. But yeah. Oh! And Phoenix has clipped the wall and has just lost a bunch of positions and time. Oh no! Phoenix clipping the wall with his rear right or like the rear left tire, and he just lost 3 positions and probably around 10 seconds there. So the question is now, as the racing resumes, can he get back up into that P2 spot and maybe get the lead again? It's going to be difficult, but it is possible. So let's monitor him and see what he does. But back here, we have another battle going on. Or just a little bit further back, just for 1 spot back to P6. And here we go, V-Rider on Luke. Goes to the inside, dives down the inside. A very good move. Luke has to go a little bit wide though. And Gamez is waiting there as well. Right back there. Now Phoenix chasing down J Prentice. Let's see. Now Phoenix right behind J Prentice, pressurizing him, trying to get him into a mistake quickly, so he can get past. A lot of tapping going on. J Prentice stays out. Yep, looking to go to the end on those hards, as Phoenix now has DRS, and they are side by side, and Phoenix is passed. Ooh, but he has a penalty for cutting the corner a little bit too much there, or a track extending a bit too much there on the exit. Now Legend is pretty close to a Shea-T, and Black Phoenix is now chasing down Konal. Then we have Gamez chasing Luke, and V-Rider about to pass Trench, and gets to the position. Ooh, little corner cut there and a penalty for Gamez in P9. Very good camera angle here. I love these angles. And now Phoenix is past J Prentice and is getting very close to Konal, as Legend is extremely close to Shea-T. Now Legend going for the move around the outside of turn 1, and he gets it. Very good move by Legend there on the outside of turn 1, as Phoenix goes for the dive on Konal and gets that move done as well. So it looks like it's going to be a battle between Black Phoenix and Legend, I believe, for the lead, as I don't see as Shea-T's on very worn tires here. He might be able to hold on to P2 though, so we will see, as the mediums will start to go off after around 10 laps probably. So it's getting pretty close to that point. And this battle for P4 here, or P5, still rages on. 4 cars all in a row. Ooh, Luke looking for a pass on Trench there, but couldn't get it done. We have the engine revving glitch from Gamez. Ooh, as Jack, I believe, has hit the wall, and now has a lot of left side damage. So very unfortunate for him. As Gamez is about to overtake Luke, or is trying to, as Luke almost overtook the two in front of him, or the trench in front of him, who was trying to pass Prentice. Oh, and a tap there by Luke onto Trench. Lets Jay Prentice get a little bit of breathing room. Yeah, as Jay Prentice's tires are really going off. 22 laps old. Ooh, and as Luke cuts the corner there, Shay T's tires are looking in very poor shape as well. Legends should get to the end. I'm not sure about the Shay and Conals though. Let's hope that they can, and then Jay Prentice as well. But yeah, Legend looks very much in control of this race at the moment. 5-second gap to Shay T on fresher tires, so it's looking pretty good for him. As there's just 3 laps to go. And now Black Phoenix is closing in on Shay T, but isn't going for the move quite yet. Oh, but now he is. And he is passed. Now he has 3 laps, just under 3 laps to close a 6.5-second gap to Legend and possibly win this race. We will see. Gamez has dropped off the pack a little bit there, or here. So now we have Trench trying to get past Jay Prentice, and Luke right in the wings as well. Ooh, Trench gets the move done, and now Luke is too. Jay Prentice goes to the inside, Luke around the outside, and Luke gets hit into the wall by Jay Prentice. Just a slight tap. Now it's going to leave him very mad as he gets passed by his teammate Bunsback as well. Oh yeah, Luke has a lot of damage on that left side. I think he's out of contention for any spot higher than P10 at the moment, unless there's an accident or penalties. So very unfortunate for him. He was looking very, very good until that incident. It was just such like a small tap from Prentice. It looked like. Obviously, it wasn't intentional, but very unfortunate nonetheless. As Legend has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, so this could very well play into the lead of the race. Who's leading at the moment? As now V-Rider is chasing down Conal, and Button is chasing Gamez. Ooh, and a tap there. And here comes Ryder. Oh, can't pass Conal quite yet. Now Button chasing down Gamez. Going around the outside, trying to. Has to take avoiding action there to avoid a slight collision. As Jack sets the fastest lap with a 37.9 on fresh softs. as Raida is really pressurizing Konal now. Same with Bun to Gamez. As we begin the final lap, Black Phoenix is still 6.3 seconds off of Legend, the same gap that it was a few laps ago, so I think the mediums are starting to go off now as well, as the hards a little bit. So I believe Legend should be winning this race. Ooh, as Bun's back, cuts the corner there, and then goes a little bit wide, or very wide. Yeah, I don't want a commentator's curse or anything. So I'm just going to shut up now. But yeah, Gamez gets a penalty for multiple warnings. And now V-Rida on Konal. Swoops to the outside, then the inside, then back to the outside again. They're side by side. And I think Konal has to concede this, I think. V-Rida has much more ERS. And he's deploying it right now. And V-Rida is passed. Alright, so now let's see what happens here. But Legend out in front, 7 seconds in the lead. Started in on pole position and will finish in the best spot possible, P1. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix, the first race of Season 4 of Rising Phoenix. Black Phoenix comes home in P2. Shay-T gonna come home in P3. But there's still a battle going on here. Let's see what happens. Shay-T is gonna come home in P3. A podium for Ferrari. Taking the hards 25 laps. Oh, as Shay-T gets a little bit squirmy there on the third last corner, or Gamez does, and loses that P8 position. That must be very frustrating, right there. Legend P1, Black Phoenix P2, Shay-T P3, V-Rida P4, Trench P5, J Prentice P6, Konal P7, Bunsback P8, Gamez P9, Luke Vettel P10, Bazooka Joe P11, Jack P12, and Flex Marcel's AI, or Flex Marcel, in P13. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DNFers. And that is the race. So yeah, what a crazy one. 1 safety car, 2 VSCs. So yeah. And that is the But yeah, so yeah, Legend wins the first race of the season. Alright, so I'd say driver of the day probably has to be Black Phoenix. He was very quick, especially at the end, overtaking left and right, albeit on newer and softer tires. But he did start from P14 and got up to P2 at the end, so that's a plus 12, which is, I believe, the highest out of any driver here. So in terms of place gain, and plus Black Phoenix was very quick. Legend, of course, did a really good job. Shay-T and V-Rida and Trench as well, all gaining a lot of positions. Bazooka Joe, pretty good. Racing Maestro, although he DNF'd, he still went up 5 positions. And yeah, so yeah, from me and everyone here at Rising Phoenix, Thank you for watching the first race of Season 4, the F1 division, at least, of it. Be sure to check out the F2 division race as well, which will be on YouTube. I believe they are around halfway through the race right now, through their race. And yeah, we will see you soon. So we'll see you tomorrow. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.